We're talking about one coin that can actually make you $6 million if you find it. The 2000p Ellis Island, Washington quarter. Yes, you heard me right. $6 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've got a 2000p quarter in my pocket, but it's worth a lot less than that. And you're not wrong. Unless you've got one of those rare, super valuable ones that we're about to dive into. So buckle up, because this is one wild ride through the world of rare coins and big money. All right, let's set the stage. The 2000p Ellis Island, Washington quarter, minted in Philadelphia, was part of the 50-state quarters program. In case you missed it, this was a big deal back in the day. The U.S. Mint released a series of quarters, each one honoring a state. And if you look closely at the Ellis Island quarter, you'll see the iconic image of the Statue of Liberty, symbolizing New Jersey and New York. But here's the kicker. There's a super rare version of this quarter, and it's way more valuable than most people realize. You see, during the minting process, some of these quarters were made with a slight mistake, an error that's now the holy grail for collectors. The error I'm talking about is a messed up die that led to some of these quarters being double struck. The result? A coin that looks like a quarter on steroids with a double image of the Statue of Liberty. Now, the rare ones, those with the double strike, can sell for around $6 million. I mean, who wouldn't love to casually stumble upon that kind of change? Imagine just paying for a coffee and realizing you've just walked around with a coin worth more than your car. You might be thinking, great, I've got a ton of those 2000p quarters lying around in my change jar. What are the odds they're worth $6 million? Well, let's get real here. The chances are slim, but you can still dream, right? To know if you've got one of these hidden gems, here's a little trick. First, take a look at the coin's edges. If the image of Lady Liberty is clearly double-stamped, then you might just be looking at a high-value quarter. Also, keep an eye on the year. It's not just any 2000p, it's the ones with the error that make the big bucks. So don't just toss that quarter in your change jar without giving it a second glance. Let me tell you a funny little story. A few years ago, I was sorting through a pile of old quarters, looking for rare ones to add to my collection. I'm pretty sure my friends thought I was a little nuts. But hey, I was convinced I was sitting on a gold mine. So, I pull out this quarter that looks kind of worn down, and for a split second I thought it might be rare. You know that feeling when your brain starts convincing you it's the one? Turns out it was just a well-loved quarter. Not worth much, but I still remember how excited I got. It's kind of funny to think about now, $6 million? My quarter didn't even make me enough for a new coffee mug. But hey, that's part of the thrill of collecting coins. You never know when you might stumble upon something big. And when you do, you'll have one heck of a story to tell. So, if you've got any 2000p Ellis Island, Washington quarters lying around, don't just toss them aside. Look closely, check for those double strike errors, and who knows? You might just become $6 million richer, and then you'll have to start figuring out how to spend all that dough. After buying me a coffee, of course. If you enjoyed this coin hunt and want to keep finding tips on valuable coins, strategies, and how to spot hidden treasures, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because who knows? Maybe the next rare find is just a click away. We're talking about a coin that's got a crazy, jaw-dropping value, the 1998p Ellis Island, Washington quarter dollar. Trust me, this one will make you rethink how you look at your loose change. Stick around, because in just 10 minutes, I'm going to break down everything you need to know about this coin, including why it's worth up to $3 million. Yep, you heard that right. All right, let's dive into it. The 1998p Ellis Island, Washington quarter sounds pretty straightforward, right? You might have come across one in your collection or seen one in circulation. It looks like your average quarter with George Washington on one side and, of course, the image of the iconic Ellis Island on the other. But there's something special about this one. And no, it's not just because it's a piece of history. The 1998p Ellis Island quarter was part of a series released by the U.S. Mint to commemorate national landmarks. The coin features a design that highlights Ellis Island, the gateway for millions of immigrants coming into the U.S. in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. But here's the thing, it was minted in limited numbers and didn't get nearly as much attention as some other quarters that came out at the time. Fast forward to today and bam, it's worth a ton. Now, I know what you're thinking, but isn't it just a quarter? Well, yeah, but in the world of coin collecting, a quarter can be a lot more than its face value. There's a little something called rarity. See, there was a minting error. A very rare, very small batch of these quarters was accidentally produced with a flaw that makes them ultra-valuable. The minting mistake is so subtle that it's easily missed by most people. So, while you're digging through your wallet looking for loose change, you might be holding on to something worth up to $3 million without even knowing it. I'll be honest, I had a similar moment not too long ago. I was going through a box of old coins my grandfather left me. Nothing too fancy, mostly just old pennies and quarters. But I'll never forget the day I found a quarter from the 1940s tucked away in there. I almost tossed it back because, hey, it was just a quarter, right? Wrong. Turns out, that quarter was worth a few $100. Of course, I did a little happy dance after that, but I bet you're wondering how you can find coins like this too. Here's the deal. To spot a 1998 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter worth the big bucks, you need to look for a few things. First, check for the mint mark. It's on the back, under the eagle's tail feathers. The P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, which is where these particular quarters were produced. If it doesn't have the P, then you're dealing with a regular quarter that doesn't have that rare value. Second, check for any imperfections, like doubling or other subtle errors that could indicate it's one of those rare specimens. If you think you've found one, you'll want to get it authenticated by a professional. And when you do, who knows? You might just have yourself a nice little $3 million coin. How crazy is that? Alright, so now that you know about the 1998 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter and its potential value, I hope you're looking at your coins a little differently. Just imagine, what if you have one of these rare quarters stashed away in your change jar right now? It's like finding a treasure chest in your couch cushions. Before you rush off to search through every coin you own, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of tips on coins worth money, strategies to find rare treasures, and stories that'll make you laugh. Hopefully not at my failed attempts to find coins worth millions. So make sure you stick around for more. Who knows? The next valuable coin I talk about might just be the one you have sitting in your pocket. We're talking about the 1995 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter, the coin that turned ordinary pocket change into a jaw-dropping jackpot. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. It might just change how you look at your loose change forever. Alright, so let's dive right in. First off, what's so special about the 1995 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter? This coin was minted to commemorate Ellis Island, the iconic gateway for millions of immigrants entering the U.S. It features George Washington on the front, as usual, and a detailed design of Ellis Island on the back. But what makes this quarter worth a staggering $9 million? Here's the kicker. It's all about rarity and condition. There's one particular coin from this batch that has collectors foaming at the mouth. Why? Because it's in pristine condition, graded MS68, which basically means it's as flawless as a coin can get. That's rarer than finding a pair of matching socks in the laundry. Oh, and did I mention it's the only one of its kind known to exist at this grade? Talk about winning the coin lottery. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few months ago, I was sorting through some old coins I inherited from my grandpa. I wasn't expecting much, maybe a few cool old pennies or nickels. But then I found this quarter with Ellis Island on the back, and my heart skipped a beat. For a split second, I thought I'd hit the $9 million jackpot. Spoiler alert, I hadn't. It was just a regular quarter worth, well, 25 cents. But hey, that moment of pure adrenaline was priceless. So, what should you do if you think you have one of these magic quarters? First, don't spend it on a vending machine snack. Get it checked by a professional coin grader, someone who can confirm its condition and rarity. And remember, even if yours isn't the legendary $9 million coin, other versions of this quarter in high grades can still fetch a pretty penny, sometimes hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Not bad for pocket change, right? By the way, quick tip. If you're hunting for valuable coins, don't forget to look for errors. Collectors love coins with quirky imperfections, like double stamps or off-center designs. It's like finding a typo in a best-selling novel, except instead of laughing about it, you can cash in big time. Alright, friends, here's the bottom line. Your pocket change might be worth more than you think. The 1995 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter is proof that even the smallest things can hold massive value. So, Next time you're digging through your couch cushions or sorting your spare change, keep your eyes peeled. You might just find your ticket to financial freedom. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on spotting rare coins, learning coin hunting strategies, or just hearing me geek out over shiny metal discs, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Trust me, your future millionaire self will thank you. We're diving into the fascinating story of the 1994 P. Ellis Island Washington quarter dollar, a coin with a jaw-dropping market value of $8 million. That's right, folks. This isn't monopoly money we're talking about. Stick around, and I'll tell you what makes this coin so special, how it managed to skyrocket in value, and how you could possibly find one in your pocket change. Let's start with a bit of backstory. The 1994 P. Washington quarter was part of a special series commemorating Ellis Island, the iconic gateway for millions of immigrants coming to America. Now, at first glance, this quarter looks pretty normal, Washington on the front, Ellis Island on the back. But what makes it extraordinary is a unique minting error. During production at the Philadelphia Mint, a small batch of these coins had a misalignment in the design, which collectors call a double die error. Essentially, parts of the design appear slightly duplicated or blurry if you look closely. This little quirk, combined with the historical significance of Ellis Island, sent the value of these coins soaring. Now, let me sprinkle in a little personal story. A few years ago, I found myself digging through an old jar of coins at my grandma's house. You know, the kind of jar every grandparent seems to have, filled with decades of pennies, nickels, dimes, and the occasional mystery coin that makes you go, huh, where did that come from? I didn't find $1 million quarter, but I did stumble upon a wheat penny that turned out to be worth $20. That's when I got hooked on coin collecting. Back to the Ellis Island quarter. If you're lucky enough to find one of these gems in your collection, you're essentially holding a winning lottery ticket. The most recent sale of this coin fetched $8 million at auction. $8 million. That's life-changing money. Folks, imagine paying off your mortgage, buying your dream car, or heck, even starting a coin-themed coffee shop where you serve penny lattes and nickel macchiatos. But before you start tearing apart your couch cushions, let me give you some tips on spotting the real deal. First, check the mint mark. It'll be a P for Philadelphia. Next, use a magnifying glass to inspect the design for any doubling, especially around the text or Ellis Island illustration. And, of course, the condition of the coin matters. A pristine, uncirculated coin will always fetch a higher price than one that's been rattling around in a vending machine for decades. And a quick reality check, these coins are extremely rare. Like finding a unicorn rare. But hey, that's part of the thrill, right? It's like a treasure hunt, except you don't need a pirate map. Just some spare change and a keen EYE.SO. What's the moral of the story? Don't underestimate the power of pocket change. That quarter you just handed over for a pack of gum could have been worth millions. It's time to start paying attention to your coins. Inspect them, research them, and who knows, maybe one day you'll be the proud owner of an $8 million Ellis Island quarter. If you found this video helpful, funny, or just plain interesting, smash that subscribe button. Join me for more coin collecting tips, stories, and strategies to uncover the hidden gems in your loose change. And don't forget to leave a comment below. Who knows? Maybe your story will be featured in a future video. We're talking about the 1990 D. Ellis Island Washington quarter, a seemingly ordinary coin with an extraordinary secret. Imagine this, a 25-cent coin worth a jaw-dropping $6 million. Yes, you heard that right, $6 million. That's the kind of money that could turn your coin jar into a retirement plan. Stick around because we're going to break down the story behind this coin, how you could find one, and why it's worth so much. Oh, and I'll share a little story about how I almost passed up a rare coin myself. Spoiler alert, it was not worth $6 million, but it still stings. First off, let's talk about what makes the 1990 D. Ellis Island Washington quarter so special. It's not just about its design, although the depiction of Ellis Island is beautiful and a lovely tribute to America's immigrant history. It's about its rarity. You see, this coin wasn't supposed to exist. Due to a minting error, a tiny number of these coins ended up being struck with a unique double die. That's where part of the design or lettering looks doubled. It's a subtle error, but collectors are going wild for it. So why is this coin worth $6 million? It's simple: rarity and demand. Collectors go bananas over coins that are both rare and have a cool backstory. Think of it like a celebrity autograph. If it's one of a kind and tied to something iconic, it's priceless. Plus, there's always a bit of mystery surrounding how many of these error coins are out there. That uncertainty drives up the value. Now, here's the kicker. This coin could literally be hiding in plain sight. Maybe it's in your junk drawer, your glove box, or that cup holder in your car that's sticky from years of spilled soda. Trust me, you want to start checking. Quick tip: grab a magnifying glass or your phone's zoom feature and take a close look at the Ellis Island lettering and the date. If you see any signs of doubling, you might just have hit the jackpot. Oh, and don't forget the D mint mark just below the year. That's a must. Without that little D, you're looking at a regular quarter worth, well, 25 cents. Let me tell you about a time I almost missed out on a rare coin. A few years ago, I was rummaging through an old box of coins my grandfather gave me. I found this weird-looking penny that seemed off. But instead of doing my homework, I tossed it aside like it was just another penny. Months later, I found out that particular coin could have sold for a few $1,000s. The moral of the story? Don't be like me. Check your coins. Because hey, what's the worst that could happen? You waste 5 minutes? On the flip side, you could discover $6 million. So there you have it, the 1990 D. Ellis Island, Washington quarter. A coin worth more than most people's houses. Now, if you're curious about other coins that could be hiding in your pocket, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I'll keep you updated on rare coins, coin collecting strategies, and how to turn your spare change into serious cash. And before you go, drop a comment below. What's the coolest coin you've ever found? Who knows? Maybe your story will inspire someone else to start hunting for hidden treasure. We're diving into how this humble piece of pocket change skyrocketed to a jaw-dropping $4 million in value. But first, let me ask, have you ever paid for a coffee and wondered if the change you got back could actually be worth more than the coffee machine itself? Well, spoiler alert, it can. Trust me, I learned the hard way after spending a coin that could have bought me a house. More on that in a bit. Alright, let's talk about this legendary 1989 P. Ellis Island quarter. At first glance, it's just your typical Washington quarter, minted in Philadelphia and released to celebrate the rich history of Ellis Island. But here's where things get juicy. Some of these quarters were struck with an incredibly rare error, making them insanely valuable. What kind of error, you ask? Drumroll, please.
A doublet die Reverse.
This means the lettering or the design on the back of the coin appears slightly doubled. To the untrained eye, it might look like a printing hiccup, but to collectors, it's like finding a gold nugget at a yard sale. Here's the kicker. One of these rare beauties recently sold for $4 million at an auction. $4 million. Let that sink in. That's enough to buy a mansion, a yacht, and still have change for a lifetime supply of tacos. Now, you might be thinking, what are the chances I have one of these lying around? Honestly, slim. But it's not impossible. These coins often hide in plain sight, tucked away in coin jars, old wallets, or the mysterious black hole known as your couch cushions. Here's a quick tip. If you have any 1989 P quarters, grab a magnifying glass and examine the back closely. Look at the words Ellis Island and United States of America. If you notice any doubling, you might just have hit the jackpot. Let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I found an odd-looking quarter in my change after buying a bag of chips. I thought it was just a weird factory defect and didn't give it a second thought. Guess what I did? I spent it on a parking meter. Yep, turns out it was a rare quarter worth over $1,000. To this day, I avoid parking meters like the plague. Now, if you're wondering why these coins are so valuable, it's all about rarity and demand. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for unique coins that stand out from the millions of regulars. It's like having a limited edition sneaker, only way cooler because, history.so, how do you cash in if you find one? First, don't clean it. I know the urge to make it all shiny and new is strong, but cleaning can actually lower the value. Instead, take it to a professional coin dealer or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate and grade your coin, which could add thousands to its value. Alright, friends, here's the million, or should I say $4 million question. Do you have a 1989 P. Ellis Island quarter sitting around waiting to make you rich? Go check your stash right now. Seriously, pause this video if you have to. And hey, if you enjoyed this little treasure hunt and want more tips on coins that could change your life, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. Who knows, you might just help someone discover their own $1,000,000 quarter. We're diving into the fascinating story of the 1978 D. Ellis Island, Washington quarter, a coin that's turning heads in the collector world with a jaw-dropping market value of, wait for it, $8 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's no way a quarter could be worth that much. Trust me, I was skeptical too. But by the end of this video, you might be inspired to dig through your change jar or raid your grandma's coin collection. So, grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's talk about how this coin went from 25 cents to, I just bought a private island money. First, let's talk about why this coin is worth its weight in, well, more than gold. This quarter was part of a rare and experimental minting process tied to the celebration of Ellis Island's centennial. Only a small batch was struck at the Denver Mint in 1978, and somehow they never made it into circulation. Instead, they were thought to be lost, with most people assuming they were melted down. But a handful managed to escape that fate, making them one of the rarest Washington quarters ever. The coin itself features a unique design. On the reverse side, you'll notice an incredibly intricate depiction of Ellis Island with the Statue of Liberty standing tall. The detailing on this coin is leagues ahead of your everyday quarter. And here's where it gets interesting. Those rare surviving coins were accidentally struck on silver planchets instead of the standard copper-nickel ones. Mistakes like this are collector gold. Funny story. My fascination with rare coins started when I found a wheat penny in my couch cushions. Naturally, I Googled it, and that rabbit hole led me to this incredible Ellis Island quarter story. I remember thinking, wow, what if I had one of these? I even went through every quarter I owned. Spoiler alert, no $8 million coins were found that day, but I did find an expired Chuck E. Cheese token, so small wins? Okay, let's get to the numbers. Why is this coin worth a staggering $8 million? Well, rarity is everything in the coin world. Only 3 verified examples of this coin exist today. Add in the historical significance of Ellis Island and the minting error, and you've got the perfect recipe for an astronomically valuable coin. The last time one of these popped up at auction, it sold for, you guessed it, $8 million. To put that into perspective, you could buy a mansion, a luxury yacht, or enough tacos to feed a small country with that kind of money. So what's the takeaway here? First, never underestimate the coins in your pocket, purse, or couch cushions. That little piece of metal could be worth more than your car, your house, or even your retirement savings. And hey, if you don't happen to find a 1978 D. Ellis Island quarter, don't worry, you're now one step closer to becoming a coin expert. Whether it's spotting minting errors or knowing what makes a coin valuable, you're building the skills to turn small change into big bucks. Before you go, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more videos lined up to help you spot hidden treasures, learn smart collecting strategies, and maybe even discover the next $1 million coin. We're diving into the fascinating story of the 1971 D. Ellis Island, Washington quarter dollar. Yes, a regular OL quarter. But this one's got a story so wild it'll leave you searching every coin jar in the house. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just know how to spot a fortune hiding in plain sight. Let's get rolling. Alright, let's start with a bit of background. The 1971 D. Washington quarter was minted in Denver and was part of a special commemorative series for Ellis Island, though this wasn't widely publicized at the time. Most people just saw it as another quarter, tossed it into circulation, and moved on with their lives. Little did they know, some of these coins were struck with an ultra-rare error that makes them worth millions today. Yes, millions, like retire and live your best life millions. But here's the kicker. The rare versions of this coin weren't even supposed to exist. A small batch was minted on planchets intended for silver coins instead of the standard copper-nickel ones. This mix-up gives the coin a unique composition, and the difference is subtle. It's not like the coin glows in the dark or sings the national anthem. Oh no, it's way more sneaky. The weight and the color are slightly off, and only an expert or someone with the right tools can tell. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, the kind with everything from old vinyl records to questionable hot dogs. I spotted a coin dealer's booth and, as a self-proclaimed coin nerd, I had to stop. The dealer handed me a 1971 D quarter and joked, "This one's probably worth more than your car." I laughed it off. My car wasn't great, but still. Later, I did some research and realized he might not have been kidding. While his wasn't the elusive Ellis Island version, it taught me a valuable lesson. Always double-check your change. You never know what's hiding in there. Now let's talk value. The last time one of these ultra-rare coins hit the auction block, it sold for a jaw-dropping $7 million. That's more zeros than I care to count. Why so much, you ask? It's all about rarity and demand. Serious collectors and investors go wild for coins like this because they're essentially one-of-a-kind treasures. If you're wondering how to spot one, here's what to look for. The D for Denver is crucial, but not all 1971 D quarters are worth millions. So don't get too excited just yet. A silver planchet quarter will weigh slightly more than a regular one. You'll need a precise scale to check this. Don't try using your bathroom scale unless you want to embarrass yourself. Color and luster. The silver ones have a distinct shine that copper-nickel coins lack. If you've got something that looks unusually bright, it's time to investigate further. If you think you've found one, get it verified by a professional grading service. Trust me, it's worth the extra effort to make sure you're not just holding a regular 25-cent piece. So what's the takeaway here? That quarter in your pocket could be worth $7 million. But you'll never know unless you start paying attention. The 1971 D. Ellis Island Washington quarter dollar is a testament to how small mistakes can lead to massive payouts. Kind of like when you accidentally order dessert, but it turns out to be the best decision of your day. Now, here's my challenge to you, are hiding in plain sight. And if you find a 1971 D quarter, send it my way. Just kidding, unless you want to. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on how to find coins worth serious money, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons of stories, strategies, and insider tips coming your way. Don't forget to like this video and share it with a friend who could use some extra luck in their life. We're diving into the mysterious and valuable 1967 Washington quarter that's got collectors flipping tables. I'll even share a funny story about how I almost overlooked a jackpot coin myself. And trust me, you don't want to make the same mistake. So, what's so special about the 1967 Washington quarter? First, let me clarify something. There's no mint mark on this coin because in 1967, the US Mint was phasing out mint marks to discourage coin hoarding during a coin shortage. But here's the twist. Some quarters from 1967 were struck on planchets intended for a different coin, giving them unique characteristics. These error coins are what collectors go nuts for. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I know if I have the 1967 quarter worth $7 million? Great question. Start by checking the coin's edges. A standard 1967 quarter will have a visible copper core sandwiched between two nickel layers. But if your quarter is missing the copper and has a solid silver edge, jackpot. That's the kind of error that gets collectors pulling out their wallets faster than I grab a slice of pizza on a Friday night. Another thing to look for is the coin's weight. A normal quarter weighs 5.67 grams. But if yours is heavier or lighter, it could be struck on the wrong metal planchet. Another big payday clue. And hey, don't just eyeball it. Grab a kitchen scale or borrow one from a friend. I promise they won't judge. Much. Okay, funny story time. A couple of years ago, I inherited a box of coins from my grandpa. I'm rummaging through them, casually tossing aside pennies and dimes like I'm too good for pocket change. Then, I see this shiny quarter that looks different. I think, cool, maybe it's worth $1. I toss it into a jar and forget about it. Fast forward 6 months. I'm watching a YouTube video, just like you are now, and realize that coin could have been a rare error. Let's just say I turned my house upside down looking for it. But it was long gone. Moral of the story? Don't sleep on your coins, folks. Back to the 1967 quarter. If you find one with these unique traits, get it authenticated by a professional grading service. They'll confirm its rarity and assign it a grade, which plays a huge role in determining its value. And don't forget, the $7 million price tag is for the cream of the crop coin, in perfect condition. Even if yours isn't pristine, it could still be worth thousands. Not bad for a coin you thought might buy you a pack of gum. Huh. So there you have it, the 1967 Washington quarter isn't just another piece of spare change. It's a potential jackpot hiding in plain sight. Start digging through those couch cushions, jars, and piggy banks. You never know. You might already be sitting on a fortune. Before you head off to raid your coin stash, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I've got plenty more tips and tricks on coins worth money, plus strategies to make the most of your collection. Don't miss out. Your next treasure might just be waiting for you. We're diving into what makes this coin the holy grail of quarters, how to spot one, and why it's rocking the coin collecting world like a rare concert ticket to your favorite band. First off, let's talk about the history behind this coin. In 1965, the US Mint made a significant change. They switched from 90% silver quarters to quarters made of a copper-nickel blend. It was all about cutting costs because, let's be real, even the government's gotta save a buck sometimes. But here's the twist. The 1965 No Ellis Island Washington quarter wasn't supposed to exist. It's like that mystery box at a yard sale. You don't know how it got there, but you're glad it did. The coin gets its name because it lacks the distinctive design of Ellis Island on the reverse side, which was a feature planned for certain commemorative coins. This missing detail makes it a fascinating error coin, and collectors go absolutely bananas for rare mistakes like this. Why? Because they're like the unicorns of the coin world, magical, rare, and worth chasing. So how do you know if you've struck gold or, well, copper-nickel? Here's what to look for. Check the reverse side. If Ellis Island isn't there, you might just have a jackpot coin. The coin will have a 1965 date, but its overall appearance might seem a bit different, perhaps a slightly unusual strike. Get it authenticated. A professional coin grader is your best friend here because there are a ton of fakes floating around. Now, let me tell you a quick story. One day, I was at my grandma's house helping her clean out her attic. Doing the good grandkid thing. We stumbled across a jar of old coins, and my grandma joked, "Maybe one of these will make us rich." Well, it didn't, but it did teach me to start paying attention to old coins. Who knew that pocket change could be life-changing? And now, here we are, obsessing over a quarter that could buy you a mansion with a private chef. Let's talk numbers. Why is this coin valued at $5 million? Rarity, baby. It's all about supply and demand. Only a handful of these coins are known to exist, and collectors are willing to shell out the big bucks for a piece of history. It's like finding a Picasso at a garage sale, except it fits in your pocket. So, what's the moral of the story? Check your change, people. That coin you just used to pay for a coffee might have been worth more than the coffee shop itself. And if you're sitting there thinking, "Nah, this won't happen to me," let me tell you, it can happen. But you've got to stay informed, keep your eyes peeled, and maybe, just maybe, you'll stumble across a life-changing piece of pocket change. If you enjoyed this video and you're ready to learn more about rare coins worth crazy money, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. I've got tips, tricks, and stories that'll keep you entertained and informed, whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who loves a good treasure hunt. And hey, drop a comment below. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Let's swap stories and maybe even some good luck.